Petrovic, leading candidate for European Coach of the Year, 4-time winner as a head coach. He has just done some wonderful things. Phil Jackson, of course, in what he says is his last year as head coach of the Chicago Bulls.
Phil Jackson telling us before the game that the keys are going to be pressure the guards, particularly Hawkins, cover the big men for Olympiacos on the perimeter, and then identify the defense better with the changing zones that Olympiacos uses.
Dick Bavetta from the NBA officiating, and Pascal Dorizon from Cholet, France, in the western part of France, will join him as the second official in the McDonald's Championship. 2 officials as opposed to the 3 for the usual NBA game. So an interesting look here. Charlotte jumping against the much taller Luke Longley. Charlotte's property of the Chicago Bulls is 6'10" and basically a power forward should he make it to the NBA. Tony Kukoc, the waiter, delivers.
No need for Luke Longley to double clutch on that. He's strong enough, he's healthy enough, get up in the air and throw one down.
There's no way that they can keep the Bulls off the offensive board. It's always been a strong point for Chicago.
Up and under, and I believe Charlotte's got a piece of that. This is Michael Hawkins from Xavier in Cincinnati running the break. Draws the foul.
Michael Hawkins ended the season last year with the Boston Celtics, played 29 games, and he also was a star, averaging 16 points a game for Rockford in a CBA. Now you're going to see this. Karlak gets a piece of that right there. A nice block. The key tonight, though, when the ball hits the backboard and rim, can they keep the Bulls from getting second shot attempts?
Charlotte, strong player in the middle, then stripped away from him. Here comes Ron Harper. Jordan out in front. On the wing, Caffey. Michael Hawkins has to foul him.
The Bulls' pressure defense ignited their surge last night. They did not shoot the ball well. Coach Ivkovic from Olympiacos was very, very concerned about how his players would react. Obviously, this is a whole nother level of basketball than these guys have ever played before. The Bulls have won all those championships based on the fact that they're the best defensive team in basketball, and they have the best player in Michael Jordan to do whatever he wants to do.
Jason Caffey out of University of Alabama, power forward with Dennis Rodman. The word is not here, Dennis Rodman. The word is that he will be around the Bulls camp Monday when they get back to the States.
Well, that'll be good, but Jason Caffey has played terrific. In the opportunity he's had, he's not the personality. He does not have the dynamic influence on the atmosphere of the game of basketball, but he's a solid rebounder, can handle the ball. Very good acquisition there.
Jordan nearly makes the steal.
You got to get it up.
Karnisovas.
Anytime that the Bulls give you that full court pressure and trap, you got to get the ball up the floor.
That's a 3 from the corner. Arturas Karnisovas, 6'7", played his college ball, as you well know, I'm sure, at Seton Hall. Karnisovas hit a 3 and drew a foul last night that really clinched the win for Olympiacos. And the first 2 of the night for Michael Jordan.
Jordan working beautifully off the ball, using the back screen of Tony Kukoc. Tomic, the off guard for Olympiacos. He's going to have his hands full as Hawkins cannot finish at the hoop.
He's going to have a problem, Hawkins. Ron Harper matched up on him. Tremendous size advantage. Jordan misses. Longley rebounds.
Bring it back. Bring it back and reset. Get the ball to your shooters.
Bulls like to go into that center position early. Did the same thing before Longley, and Cartwright was there. Kukoc. Well, he's not going to have a donut tonight. Tony was 0 for 7 last night.
Well, anytime that they throw into the pivot and they run those putts, you have to always watch the down screen on the other side of the lane. The defender just ran right into the screener.
That's John Rogers making the pass. Michael tipping it away. Harper to Kukoc.
Chicago just looks so much sharper tonight than they did last night.
Ron Harper missing the 3. Tied up, that's Karnisovas on top of Harper.
Ron Harper was trying to call timeout lying on the ground. And the European referee,
Pascal Dorizon
from France here, ignored the timeout call and said, hey, look, jump it up here. The loose ball kicked out. Harper on the ground. Remember, he's playing with a very sore knee. He started the game with the knee sleeve up, pulled it down for that play. Now he's got it pulled back up. He's got some swelling in that knee.
Well, last night the Chicago Bulls started Randy Brown at the point, Michael Jordan at small forward. Tonight they're going to an outfit that you know is going to score points with Kukoc starting at small forward.
Traditionous with the turnover and back again. Kukoc lost it that time. This is Milan Tomic, number 11, 6'2" guard. He's really the leader of this team, big clutch shooter.
Well, he's the point guard for the last 5 years for the Greek national team.
Hawkins.
And you can already see the impact of Harper's size on Hawkins. Hawkins last night was the best point guard to date in the tournament. Harper, like he did to Stockton in the finals last year against Utah, just smothered him over the top.
10 on the shot clock for the Bulls, leading 6-3 opening moments from Bercy Sports Palace in Paris. Harper on the drive.
Luke Longley's doing so much to help the Bulls. He's clogging up the middle. He's playing that pivot in the in the triangle offense magnificently.
Well, but Bill, as you know, if they pass the ball into him, he'll make things happen. Oh, there, that was an excellent move. You've got to play Johnny Rodgers. He's a terrific three-point shooter. But what we had was a major foul down inside the painted area. Now, here is your split. See, what they did is they hit the post and they run two cutters off. Harper changed his route and came off on the baseline side. And you always like it when your center will hand off instead of forcing up a shot. And I know you did that all the time in Portland, big fella.
Hey, Bob Gross, Dave Torzik, Connie Davis.
Oh, wait a second. The letters are already coming. They're already, and you guys just had a reunion last year. Come on.
20-year reunion.
That's right. Oh, are you getting old?
Chicago leading it by a score of 8-5. Tarlac goes to the free throw line to convert the three-point play.
By the way, did Jack Ramsey show up with plaid pants on?
No, but he brought those pants as a souvenir. He refuses to wear them. Great pass, Jordan.
Nice.
Rodgers hit the field goal. I think I said 3 points because the foul was away from the ball. Thus, that's why Tarlac shot the free throw. It's 10-6, Chicago.
Jordan's passing ability, his willingness to give it up, makes him clearly the best player in the game today.
So you're not going to beat Chicago from the perimeter. Right now, Olympiacos has got to establish something inside.
Tarlac, yes, he got the roll and Longley.
Good hustle. Good hustle.
Throw it up, Rob.
Look out.
Throw it up, yeah.
Jordan, Caffey. Throws it down hard. Jason Caffey.
4 players involved for the ball. Longley diving, Harper diving, and then Jordan lobbing to Caffey. Beautiful team basketball.
11-8 Chicago, 7:26 to go, first period from Paris, France. Championship game, 1997 McDonald's championship.
Every time that Tarlac gets the ball, he's always going into the chest of Longley. You're going to see a beautiful move here right now. Drop it down. Michael Jordan, if he would have shot at 13,500, would have been happy, but instead he made a great pass. And here is Caffey sending it home. And Bill, you hit a nail on the head. This guy's a worker. He's a lunch pail guy. Very quietly goes about his business.
Good inbound play as Hawkins hits the jumper. It's 11-8. And by the way, significant news there is Longley, who got in foul trouble early last night, has 2 early here tonight. We may be seeing Bill Wennington soon. Tomic. The score now is 12-10 Chicago.
The difference between Chicago tonight and last night is sharper cuts, better execution, quicker passing, more focus on the shots. Everything they worked on in practice this morning.
Tomic misses and Longley will run it down.
Also, Bill, when you put Kukoc out there, they're no longer laying off of, say, a Randy Brown. They respect Kukoc.
That bucket, let's get the score straight for you. The Parisian scorekeepers had it wrong here. Right now it is, and you'll see it on the screen as they check it out in the truck. There you go. Chicago 14, Olympiacos 8.
I think in the early goings, you have to like what Longley's doing. Not only the passing, but we know that he can score if he gets the catches.
Hawkins on the drive.
Nice.
Had 22 points last night. Did Michael Hawkins, who played in the CBA in the States out of Xavier of Cincinnati, finished the season last year with Boston. John Rodgers punched it away with 14 on the shot clock.
Michael Hawkins just drives right by Kukoc. A huge height advantage. Luke Longley frozen. Nothing he can do.
attractions for anybody coming to Paris are great, but for the Bulls, they tour, they give clinics, of course there's some marketing, they sign autographs. This all started when the Bulls arrived Tuesday. Judd Buechler is the intellectual leader of the team, as you'll see right here.
French food.
Yeah, French food. Maybe Michael's the intellectual leader.
Well, you got a lot of very intelligent players on this team. Jordan brilliantly on the baseline, executed out of bounds play.
That's 4 points for Michael now. Bulls up 16-10.
Well, in the early going, I think what's happening, anytime that the Bulls do a back screen or a screen going parallel to the baseline, Olympiacos just don't recover.
Tarlott, double team, muscles it in, and the foul.
Oh, Bill Wennington now in the lineup, replacing the foul-plagued Luke Longley. Tarlock's move, number 12, in the red for Olympiacos. This game is to not go around people, is to go through guys. If you just keep your chest on them and keep your hands up around the shoulder and move your feet, you can force him to shoot shots that he's not going to make.
Tarlott converts the three-pointer, and it is 16-13.
Jordan flashing quickly from that weak side.
And pulling up with a short cover. Michael Jordan has 6.
QB, his explosiveness away from the ball. Most guys like to walk in and just wait and get the ball wherever they want, and he really works for that position.
Well, you know, last night he just had a terrific game in 35 minutes, 28 points, and he's off to a wonderful start here today. And you're right, it's the explosive jump.
Shot clock down to 5 seconds. Tarlott, does he know it? 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Tarlott gets the basket at the buzzer, and it will count. Chicago 18-15 with 4:49 to go in the first quarter.
He did what happens with a lot of centers. He dribbled, stopped his dribble, dribbled again, and then shot and scored.
Well, he held it so long, everybody forgot.
Wennington leading in. Rogers got a part of that. Wennington follows. Rogers gets the rebound. John Rogers out of Cal.
Oh, nice.
And a nice feed to Vucevic, who missed the lay-in. Vucevic, their 6th man, just came into the ball game. Harper boots it out of bounds. It will belong to Olympiacos Piraeus. 18-15 Chicago.
Tarlock in the post, working against Jason Caffey now. Look how Jason gives up his feet when he stands up straight like that and allows Tarlock to just step underneath him and elbow him out of the way.
Tarlock has 6.
That was beautiful, except we forgot to show you the dribble where he picked it up and then dribbled again.
Bad pass by Hawkins. Kukoc, who started here tonight in place of Randy Brown. He got in trouble with that pass. Is lucky that Wennington was just covering to get it. The foul inside Tarlott.
Ron Harper and Tony Kukoc will be incredibly important to the Chicago Bulls as they play through this period without Scottie Pippen, and hopefully Dennis Rodman will be back very soon. But these are two guys, Harper and Kukoc, who were forced to take the short summer that world champions do have, take it off to let those joints rest. And Harper with the knee, got a little bit of swelling in this training camp, and Kukoc, of course, with the plantar fasciitis, which he says is fine, but until he starts putting up the big numbers, Bob,
yeah, that's injury concerns for 4 of the Bulls' top 6 players.
It's the length of the season, 100 games a year for 7, 8, 9 years in a row. Look who's already injured this year. Pippen out for a while. John Stockton out for a while. Alonzo Mourning, 3 of the key guys from last year's semifinalists in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, last night Robert passed Dallas. Broke his finger. He'll be out about a month.
Well, their season is significantly shorter, Bob.
Dallas. The runner, Karnisovas.
Let go.
It's going to belong to Olympiacos Piraeus.
In the early going, you must appreciate the Chicago defense. They're challenging every shot. There's an extension. Anytime that a guy elevates, they're going for not the shot block, but the pressure and the intimidation.
Karnisovas, good penetrator. He draws the foul. Karnisovas shoots well from outside, as we pointed out last night. Karnisovas hit the 3 and then drew the foul to really clinch the victory. He also hit big 3s toward the end of their previous 2 games.
You'll be following up on your comment about the defense. A very tough call against Wennington there. Just almost a beg and a prayer to get to the line. But I think the Bulls will be much more focused in every single night out, knowing the importance of getting wins early on without Scotty, without Dennis. They've shown that focus tonight.
Well, they have been struggling, Bill, with their shooting. They're 2-2 in the exhibitions. Outside of Michael Jordan, the rest of the team is shooting under 40% in a number of the key games.
Remember, Michael's playing with those two very... Oh, great steal.
Oh, good move.
And the fadeaway, the follow by Wennington.
They will never let him forget that. Will Wennington dunked.
That's right.
22-17,
Not only that,
Bulls by 5.
Hey, but he looked over to the bench. He wanted to hear the applause.
Karnišovas.
Well, the NBA, speaking of the applause, the NBA has duplicated the environment of the Chicago Stadium here at the Palais de Bercy.
With an air ball by Hawkins. This is Ron Harper. 2:41 to go in the first period. Chicago leading it by 5. 22-17. Michael Jordan has 6. Tarloch has 6. For Olympiacos, and just as I say it, Michael has 8 and has that look.
Well, on those two ingrown toenails that have plagued him this week, he was saying that one of the doctors just dug a little bit too deep and exposed a little bit too much flesh, but he really looked sharp tonight. And even better than last night when he did whatever he wanted.
He says when he steps on the floor, he puts it out of his mind. And folks, he can do that, putting the pain aside.
Right now for Olympiacos, Johnny Rodgers and Michael Hawkins, they just got to take their time. They're getting good looks, but every ball is short, right on the front of the rim.
Bulls to a 9-point lead. Michael Jordan, the artist. How sweet it is. You are watching the NBA on NBC. Jordan with 8. Just how important is winning the McDonald's championship? We asked Michael what kind of approach the Bulls had taken as they prepared to play here in Paris.
We can't go out there and think about losing. You know, no team's lost in the McDonald's Open, and we certainly don't want to be the first. So I think the focus is a little bit more playoff focus to some degree. Hopefully that's the case, because we certainly don't want to be the first team to lose here.
And there has been some discussions between the NBA and the Chicago Bulls as to whether the Bulls will be able to announce themselves at their home games as the world champions if they don't win this game today.
Bulls are leading at 26-19, and Michael says we'll have none of that talk. Double digits already for Jordan, 10 points, minute 21 to go in the first quarter.
A major issue tonight, they're rebounding. They're ahead 13-5 in the boards. Last night they were out-rebounded by 7 from a much smaller basketball team. There's more purpose up front here this evening.
Well, last night they gave up the Bulls 20 rebounds to Struelens, who's a terrific prospect out of Belgium playing for the Parisian team. But tonight, the Bulls just everywhere all over the boards, plus the fact that the defensive job that Ron Harper initially and now Randy Brown is doing on Hawkins. Michael Hawkins, who has done nothing.
Randy Brown, as you said, just stepped into the ballgame. Also in is a new addition to the Chicago Bulls who's going to have some pressure on him as long as Scottie Pippen's out. He's the man who committed the foul, Scott Burrell. The Bulls picked up in a trade with Golden State, sending Dickie Simpkins to the West Coast. Burrell, 26 years old, played at UConn, 24 minutes last night and did not miss a shot. 5 out of 5 total, 3 out of 3 from beyond the arc. It's 28-20 Chicago.
Give it to him and get moving, Burrell.
Wennington on the baseline.
Bulls so sharp on the shots. The passes are right in there. You could see it in the practice this morning. And the jumpers, the competitive spirit that they had.
Bill, what I loved about that, they went into Michael. The center left Wennington. Wennington went to the opposite side. And then when the center tried to recover defensively, they screened him, opening up Wennington beautifully for a mid-range jumper.
And Michael already has 3 assists.
Jordan also with 10 points. Here is Michael Hawkins. Nakic, who just checked in a moment ago, wears number 9. Tarloch, powerful move inside to draw the foul. Tarloch is 6'10", about 250 pounds, the highest paid player on this Olympiacos team at about $1.5 million.
Well, we can't forget that one of the key guys for Olympiacos, Fasoulas, is not playing. Fasoulas normally the center, the big 7-footer that played at North Carolina State. Been the anchor of the national team for years, and you see Tarlak's last season productivity led the Olympiacos team on the glass, but he's a converted power forward.
Nakic with the rebound, and there's a good time to point out offensive basket interference that is allowed in FIBA play and in this championship. The ball can be knocked away when it's over the top of the cylinder legally.
It hasn't been much of a factor here. The players haven't taken advantage of it as much as I thought they would. Jordan playing for one shot.
10 seconds in the period. Burrell, that's his first miss in this tournament. He did not miss last night. 5 seconds.
Plenty of time for Michael. Oh, good strip.
Really good hands by Vukcevic. And that will end the first period of play with the Bulls up by 10, 30-20. And his airness, 10 points, 1 rebound. But look at that, 3 assists and 2 steals. Welcome back to Palais Omnisport Bercy in Paris, France. The Bulls had led 20-17, then went on this 10-3 run in the last 2 minutes, 45 seconds of the first period. And at the end of the first 12 minutes, Chicago with a double-digit lead.
Well, Bob, Chicago's shooting 54%. We said that if Olympiacos had a chance, they had to shoot a high percentage. They're at 39%. We said they had to keep the Bulls off their offensive board. Bulls have 6 offensive rebounds. And then we said, limit your turnovers. Already Olympiacos with 5 turnovers.
Also, though, Hubie, for Olympiacos, 2 key guys, Rogers and Hawkins combined for 6 points. Hawkins has 4 of those. They need to be much more assertive offensively.
Pernishevich missing Rogers with the rebound, and he must have heard you. And there's the young Russian Greek into the ball game. His name is Amanatidis. That's his mother's name. His Russian name is Zemrashenko. He wears number 13, only 18 years old. They say he is a raw talent, but he's still really taking high school tutoring. And there are the leading scorers so far in the ball game. Jordan with 10, and pretty good balance with Tarlac, Karnišovas, and Hawkins.
Well, right now, with Hawkins, Rogers, and Karnišovas, would just take their time. They're rushing everything. And, you know, and actually it's the anxiety of playing against the Bulls, guys that they know that they would have to, you know, be in competition with if they ever played in the NBA. The big thing, relax. You're getting good shot opportunities.
It's so difficult to get those shots, Hugh, because these guys are not really great at creating their own shots. The Bulls magnificent at denying individual talent. But the Bulls lineup right now, where are they going to find their offense? Randy Brown just took a knee to the upper thigh there, but with Kukoc normally anchoring this unit in the starting lineup, they could struggle offensively in the second quarter here.
13 on the shot clock. This is Wennington, good face-up shooter. And Wennington has 6 points off the bench. He came in early in this game when Luke Longley picked up 2 quick fouls, and the Bulls have their biggest lead, a lead of 12. And by the way, that previous foul on Olympiacos went to the youngster, the Greek-Russian, Amanatidis.
Did Wennington hear Bill Walton? Is that why he hit that jumper?
Wennington looks sharp as can be.
Yes, he does. Looks good. It's nice to see him back, Bill.
Well, he unable to play in the playoffs last year because of the plantar fasciitis tear. The nice penetration and step back there. That Isaiah Thomas and Bill Lambier, or
anytime that you get a double team on a dribbler off of a fake screen and roll, screen and spot up, and you're wide open.
Scott Burrell, Bulls' new addition in the trade. Cappy on the double team. Shot clock to 4.
Nice.
3, 2, 1. Counts, just beating the buzzer, Randy Brown.
Well, they did everything right. They trapped hard in the corner. They cut off the rotation pass, and what happens? They missed the pass.
The Bulls role players like Randy Brown, like Bill Wennington, so good. Last night, those 2 guys in particular shot the ball well, along with Jordan. Tonight, everybody seems on it.
Nakic spins into the paint, but misses the lay-in. Again, apparently intimidated by the Bulls' size and reputation, or the size of their reputation.
That's it. I like what they're running. I like what they're running down inside. They're running all that little curl stuff, getting into the lane. They're getting good shots, but you must knock them down.
8 on the shot clock now for Steve Kerr. Kerr, by the way, finished 4th in the 3-point shootout here. Scotty Burrell, who went 5 of 5 last night, has missed his 2 perimeter attempts here in this basketball game as the Bulls are up by 14. 9:31 remaining in the first half. Karnishevich with the triple.
He missed him, Hubie. Johnny Rodgers was missed on the break. You want to get the ball to the big guys, particularly the big red-headed guys who were running hard. But because he ran through, Karnishevich was able to fill in on the delayed break.
Are you trying to tell me that was by design? Sure.
Steve Kerr running things for the Bull on the floor right now. This is Scotty Burrell on the drive. Offensive foul on Burrell.
Good call. The big 18-year-old just went right in there and took that charge head on.
Speaking of Karnishevich,
he's the guy that hit the big three-pointer and the foul call to win the game against Argentina last night. He comes in, the Bulls too late in the rotation to step out. Olympiacos trying to get back.
Which divides the city in the left and right bank. I'm Ahmad Rashad here at Bercy in Paris, where the Bulls lead Olympiacos by 12. Must-see weekend continues next on NBC with one of the greatest rivalries in college football as John Robinson's Trojans invade South Bend to take on Autry Denson and the Fighting Irish. That's USC and Notre Dame, presented by the U.S. Postal Service, immediately following the McDonald's Championship on NBC. Bob?
Thanks, Ahmad. And Bill, by the way, in case you're wondering, USC, that's the other college there in Atlanta.
Most UCLA people hoping for a scoreless tie in that game this afternoon.
Here's a summary of the game so far. Bulls on a 14-6 run the last nearly 6 minutes. Jordan, 5 of 10 from the floor with 10 points. Michael doing about anything he wants to right now. The Bulls moving the ball well.
Absolutely, Bob. I always felt that once Scotty and Dennis went out, that they'd have to pass the ball more to take advantage of the skills of the guys who are still left. Of the 15 baskets, they've got 12 assists to Chicago Bulls.
That's new man in the ball game, Demetrius Karaplis. 6'8" forward, did not play last night, and now it is a 9-point Chicago lead.
Ivkovic, the great coach, legendary coach for Olympiacos, he said he was going to go deeper to his bench. Last night, only 8 guys into the game.
Randy Brown handling the ball, defended by Tomic. Into Wennington, who's been the offense here. Well, after Michael. Kukoc with a putback.
I like the substitution for Chicago by putting Kukoc out there with Wennington and then getting Buechler in there at that small forward position and Kerr. You have Kerr, Kukoc, and Wennington that you can go to, and then 2 good defenders, Randy Brown and Buechler, to hope to get out in the open floor.
And Olympiacos 2 of 6 this period.
Tony Kukoc looks 100% better tonight
than last night.
Yeah. Nice poke
Wennington,
away.
4 on the shot clock. Tomic, ball fake. This is the 3.
Great rebound, Randy Brown.
Inside to Nakic. He's fouled. I think one of the reasons, as you look at Kukoc here, one of the reasons he's playing better is before he went to bed last night, Phil Jackson, the master philosopher, said, Tony, would you like to have my TV in your room tonight since you'll be staying awake all night worrying about how badly you played?
Well, we discussed last night how guys who are on in their careers, they'll often play better in the second game because the first game, you have 2 games in a 24-hour period, so you come out and you play at one level and then you up it because you got a couple days rest, although the Bulls leaving tomorrow on their chartered 747. They play Tuesday.
Last night we came back to Europe where the man was player of the year 4 straight years, and they put him on the bench and they started Randy Brown at point and Michael Jordan at small forward. Don't tell me that didn't have an effect on his game.
Steve Kerr, the NBA career leader in threes, knocks down a tray. 39-27 Chicago with 7:15 remaining in the first half.
Great
Rodgers tried to make the pass inside, but hit the iron, and Karaplis couldn't come up with the ball. Here is Kukoc. Missing. Buechler with the rebound.
Bulls just quicker to every single ball today.
And Kukoc going to the hole. Kukoc did not penetrate more than once, if that, last night. We have a timeout on the floor. Bulls 39-27 with 6:56 remaining in the first half. Who were they talking about then? Another M. Magic Johnson. After Magic and the players toured around Paris, they did the town very much like the other M, Michael. Magic didn't disappoint the French fans either. He did what he's most proud of in his career, and that is he distributed the ball. First, he distributed autographs. Distributing the ball, how about this? Averaging 19 assists in 2 games. In the finals, Magic took over. The Lakers held on for the 2-point win, and Magic went home with that coveted MVP award. I wonder if they've engraved the name on the MVP award for this game tonight.
They may be working on it right now. But look at the guys who have played in the McDonald's championships. You've got Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, now Michael Jordan. All NBA top 50 guys.
39-27 Chicago, 6:48 remaining in the first half. Bushler defending Karnisovas. Longley back into the game, carrying 2 fouls on Tarlac. Karnisovas lose it on the penetration attempt. Lob pass, Brown. And the foul.
Coach Ivkovic for Olympiacos was saying that the defensive pressure of the Bulls is his biggest concern in this game today. And the little quick hands of Kerr, of Randy Brown, of Jordan, of Bushler just popping away the balls, leading to easy scoring opportunities. Bulls in complete control here.
Saw Ivkovic on the bench there. He's described by his own general manager as being a Bobby Knight-type disciplinarian, Hubie.
Well, he's one of the all-time great coaches in the history of FIBA basketball. We're talking about a guy who coached the Yugoslavian national team 4 times, won the silver in the Olympics in '88, and he's won many championships and also club championships. Extremely well respected throughout the community.
But Tiki, oh, beautiful
pass. Oh, that's the weak side off the triple post offense. Longley and these players have run it so many times. And the bounce pass.
The general manager for Olympiacos, Tiki Livieratos, was saying that in a positive sense about the disciplinarian of Bobby Knight. The fact that he makes these guys into tougher players and better people.
Karnisovas misses the shot. How about the Bulls bench? Wennington 6 points, 5 boards. Kerr hits a 3-pointer. Brown 6 points.
Watch the cutter from the corner. There it is right there. Anytime they throw into the post, the cutter in the corner is running back line, and that's the first man you must take away out of this triangle. Look at this, a beautiful bounce pass, nice cut, defender looking at the ball.
Lead with 5:43 to go in the first half.
During that timeout, Bob, the place was jumping. The music was blaring. The dancing girls. Now the crowd has picked up for Michael Jordan, who's back in the game. Sense it, that got another 24 minutes in the second half, 6 minutes here. They want to see a show.
Michael set out for 6 minutes. He got a bigger cheer last night than the French Prime Minister when he was introduced. 3:31, Chicago.
Well, that's because all those people were stuck in traffic like we were.
And masked. Hawkins. Starlodge kept it alive. Good back tip.
Bulls closing out on defense magnificently.
Notice Longley is not on the floor. He picked up his 3rd foul right as we went away. Bulls really not with a center. So they go inside. Knockage with the rebound. So the lack of size inside hurting the Bulls a little bit on that.
Well, Michael Hawkins, we said, is just crushing. Last night, 23 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. It's a different guy tonight. He's just got to step back a little bit, and everything will fall his way.
Yeah,
he's got talent.
Yeah, Bulls missing it inside. Here's Hawkins.
Take it strong.
Raked away by his own player. Hawkins hit the floor, but Olympiacos comes up with it. This is Cartwright. He's missing. He follows. It doesn't go. Jordan saves it.
What a half.
Olympiacos is intimidated. Hawkins 4 points, 0 assists after the great numbers that you pointed out from last night, Hubie.
Jason Caffey has got Michael posted down deep.
Remember, you can play zone. There's no illegal defense in international competition.
Michael goes around Tarlac.
Oh, baby. They came for that. They came for that.
I Mike came for that.
As soon as Michael saw Hawkins playing him, he said, "Give me the ball." And now watch Tarlac come on this double team. Michael said, "Forget it, will you? Slow feet. I'm taking it and throwing it up over my head off the glass." This is beautiful.
He's behind the backboard.
Yes, he is.
Doesn't even look at the rim and still knows exactly what to do.
Renoir,
Beautiful.
Monet, Jordan.
Oh, you've been to the Louvre this week.
Last night we named a wine after him. May as well go with it.
The remaining issue last night. The place is sold out 13.5. 1,000 media credentials given out for this event from all over the world. 167 countries catching this live today.
There's the surprise substitution of Demetrius Karopoulos, and he knocks down the three. Bulls lead it by 11. We have 3:52 to go in the first half.
Oh, Tony missed Michael on the back cut there.
And on the penetration, runs into Karopoulos and draws the foul. And Scott Burrell is about to come back into the ballgame for the Bulls.
Hubie, Chicago is so good. Watch when Tony steps into the post there. Now, when you turn your back to a cutter, that's when he'll be open. Michael was wide open, and Tony is as creative a passer as there is in basketball. Just missed him.
Well, you know yourself, it's not through selfishness. No, because he is always looking to make the easy play for someone else. And I think he really, looks at his game as he is the server, which they called him here in Europe because of the fact that he would give up the ball instead of forcing shots.
How about this? Kukoc 0 for 4 from the free throw line. Bulls lead it by 11 with 3:40 in the half.
But there's a real sense, Hubie, when you're playing with someone as magnificent as Michael Jordan, to just always look for, particularly as the crowd is surging, to build it, because that'll just make it even more of a special event than it already is.
Cappy picks up the personal foul. That's his second. Kukoc goes out. Scott Burrell now back in the game.
Bulls cannot find the range. Their fifth exhibition game of the early season. Remember, the European teams start in early August, where the NBA teams don't start till October. So the conditioning level, a significant difference. Coach Ivkovic for Olympiacos spent that time, moment trying to counsel Michael Hawkins and get him on track and build up his confidence a little bit.
Lead cut to 9 points now as you see Phil offering his television to Kukoc again. Michael also jumps in Tony Kukoc's face often when he's having bad games, and did so last night. His airness shoots that one over the outstretched arms of Franco Nakic. 15 for Michael.
He seems in championship level form already.
A bad pass that came.
And the reason why your statement is such a big one is because they were talking yesterday about how he couldn't practice almost for 2 days because of the toes. He had the toenails removed, and he was in a great deal of pain.
And he was telling me early in the week when they first got here as he hits again.
17.
And a little dance, all right? A little jumper with a nothing but net and a dance.
8 of 13 from the floor is Michael. He is the big toe of the Bulls.
Yeah, there you go.
But Michael was talking about, as Bavetta stopped play away from the ball, he was saying that the difference between your conditioning in October and your conditioning in June is huge. Because you have to get a little bit out of shape to allow your body to rest and recover from the gruel and the grind of the season.
Well, when you talk about Michael, you're talking about a guy who must give the crowd night in and night out excellence, because he is examined under a microscope by the media on a game basis. There are very few nights that he has a chance to take off, as we know.
And it's not just the crowd in attendance, it's the television audience that is now worldwide, as you pointed out, with 1,000 people here.
Sure, because as soon as he gives you a couple of lackluster efforts, everyone is saying, oh, he's over the hill. Look how he's huffing. He'll never do it at playoff time. Now he'll only average 37 a game at playoff time.
Jordan working between the legs, draws the foul. Franco Nakic commits the foul as it's his turn in the box, so to speak, trying to defend Michael Jordan.
The torture chamber, it's called, Bob. You get isolated on a guy as talented as Jordan here. The crowd just building the pressured Knock is just helpless here, and he's a very good defensive player here.
Excellent athlete at 6'7". But anytime that you do not get a chance to play against the Jordan, you're not going to stop him. You'd like to just contest the shot and not look bad.
Well, even the guys who have played their whole careers against him still get lit up for 40 and 50 on a consistent basis. I mean, the first time you play him, you're going to go for all those fakes.
As we look at his 17 points right now, he just missed a free throw, make it 18. You know that Michael knows, he might not say he does, he knows that the NBA scoring record by an individual in this McDonald's championship is 34, held by Patrick Ewing. He'd like to, of course, have his name on that.
And then we have that guy, Bob McAdoo, who in 4 games averaged 39 points a game.
With Milan.
Milan, that's right.
Minute 58 to go in the first half. Bulls have been in control most of the way, up by 12 points right now. Leading scorer, by the way, for Seton Hall. Well, he was leading scorer for Seton Hall. That's not all that wrong. Is Karnišovas. He has 12 as he hit those last 2 free throws and is going back to the line again.
Now, P.J. Carlissimo might be watching this afternoon. Played for P.J. Played extremely well. Averaged 18 points a game throughout his career at Seton Hall.
Karnišovas was recently married this last June to a woman from Boston. Lithuanian national team member. Was in the Bucks training camp for a short while. Spent 2 years in the CBA with Rockford and a couple of years with FC Barcelona.
We look at the scouting report on Karnišovas. Great shooter, solid rebounder, can penetrate, get to the hoop. The key is his man-to-man defense, whether he can stick a guy, because he's got the body type. He's going to have to be an off guard, possibly a small forward, whether he can stay with the real athletic guys like George and Scottie Pippen, but nobody else can either.
Now, last year, playing for a team in Barcelona, Spain, he was named the European Player of the Year, the highlight of his career so far.
Shot clock down to 9 as the ball is knocked out of bounds by Caracas.
Bob, they bring Ron Harper back. You know, now Ron's playing with that sore, stiff knee. He's been sitting for a long time, and have to see if he can instantly pick up his game.
I think his movements are visibly limping a little. Michael misses a long-range three-point attempt. Was 0 for 2 from three-point land last night. Pretty good man-to-man defense here.
Oh, come on, George Bushler, give it to him. He's isolated on the weak side, high post.
Bushler on the cut from Jordan.
They only had 3 guys on him. Right? 3 guys. Everyone ran at him, okay? And you knew he was going to give it up. Now just keep an eye on this. Watch to the right of your screen. Hey, up. 4 on 2 on the other side of the floor.
Tomic has defended him much of this game tonight, and I liked what the coach, Dusan Ivkovic, said. He said, I'm going to have Tomic play Jordan, but I think he may need a helicopter.
Well, Tomic does not have the athleticism that we see in so many of the off guards in the NBA.
Also not physically strong. He's slight of build.
And he can't create his own shot to make Michael work on the other end.
We're killing him here, Bill. 6'2".
He's a terrific player, and he knows that. Very confident guy, a long-time national level player here in Europe.
Stripped away by Jason Caffey as Tarlux tried to turn to the baseline. 4 seconds on the shot clock, 52 seconds in the first half. Bulls are up by 11. They've led most of this first half after about midway through the first quarter by double digits.
You know, Tarlich, Bill, in his first half has met the physical contact and has held his own.
Judd Bushler, tough break there. Judges lost the handle.
Hawkins came away with it very quickly. Hawkins, who had 22 last night, has 6 in this game with 45 seconds in the half.
2 for 1 time for Chicago if they go quick.
Caffey. Jordan. 2, 3. You see the 3. Shot clock to 10. Kerr. Karnišovas. Hawkins on the right.
That's got to be an offensive pass.
And it is.
I almost got it out, and I wanted to say, you know, slow it down, get the last shot of the quarter. You're only down. If you make it, you can get it to 7. Now here you're going to see Bushler right here. Now there it is. The ball was just slipped right out of his hands. Hawkins' opportunity takes it right to the hole. But the big key there was reading the clock. As soon as you had that, slow it down, make sure you get one shot, leave about 2 seconds on there. The worst you could have gone was down 9, maybe 7. And you know what? Not a bad half.
Down 9 now.
Well, they haven't played that well, and they're still right there.
That's right. That's my point.
Tomic.
Not a bad half.
On Michael Jordan, 8 seconds. This is why we bought the tickets. Jordan's double teamed and fouled. Karnishimas came down to help Tomic.
Bob, you speak of buying the tickets. You see a lot of the regular Bull fans have flown over for this great event.
My ticket cost, I don't know what it was, 2,300 francs. Something like that. What is, they said that was a deal.
45, 40 to 40, 50, 40 to $50.
Your airplane ticket cost $20. I tell you. Can I talk to your travel agent?
When I checked into the hotel, I give a tip to the bellhop, and I look at my French money, and I look down and I see cent, C-E-N-T, francs. I think cent, that must not a cent, that must be 10. Someone gave him 10 francs. He walks away very grateful. Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup. That's 100 francs. That's 20 bucks. Big tip.
Well, you're big time. I mean, you are so big time that not only are you doing this game today, you're doing an NFL game tomorrow. Congratulations, Bob, and good luck sleeping tonight.
Hey, listen, they're holding the kickoff against the 49ers tomorrow for Bob to show up.
I don't think they'll do that. And the buzzer, that nearly fell in. 54-43, Chicago by 11 at the half. We'll be joining Greg Gumbel for the Prudential halftime report right after this. A plot of beard on Phil's chin.
Maybe Phil grew that while he was on the motorcycle ride, thinking about Peter Vesey and the chaos that surrounds this Chicago Bull team.
Yeah.
But Phil, in that interview, also said that when you know what you want in your life, things are a lot easier. Phil is at peace with himself and knows exactly what he does want, and he's going to get it.
When I was in the 7th grade, my father gave me the greatest piece of advice in my life. When he got laid off after 19 years in the Kearney shipyard. He said, Chief, remember one thing. You are always a half a step from the street. And you know what? When you listen to that interview, that was sad. But because a guy with 5 rings was a half a step from being unemployed.
Yeah, well said.
Well, it makes absolutely no sense, that whole scenario there. You've got a team, you've got the best coach, you've got the best players, you've got nothing but championships, and all the talk is about, well, when's it going to end? When's it going to end so we can start over? Enjoy it, live it, love it. Show the games 3 times a day on TV. Put the flowers on Michael Jordan's doorsteps. Wash Scottie Pippen's car every day.
Bulls match their biggest lead of the game now, 57-43 as Longley came in. Remember, Luke is carrying 3 fouls, but he made him pay earlier. In the first half, Hawkins with the ball now was only 3 of 11 and had no assists.
Great defensive poke away.
Bob, could I just get back to Bill's remark about Scotty settling for car wash? I think Scotty would like a new contract rather than his car getting washed.
Well, and what he meant when he said give him a car wash, he meant give him the car wash business.
Yeah.
Cappy. Opening moments, 3rd quarter. Palais Omnisport de Bercy in Paris, France, the championship game of the 1997 McDonald's Championship. 59-43 Bulls. They've built their biggest lead so many times. All of us who've seen the Bulls know that when they come out in the 3rd quarter, they often extend that lead.
But Luke Longley just picked up his 4th foul.
But Wennington
played great.
no problem.
In his place.
Are these the same guys we saw play here last night against this dynamite French team that was only down 5 inside of a minute to go? That was beaten this afternoon by the team from Argentina?
The little team with a $1.1 million payroll, Atenas Cordoba.
5th foul on Luke Longley. They just called a double foul here now on Tarlac and Longley. There's no need for Luke to get involved in altercations like that. He's bigger, he's stronger. He's a better player than Tarlac is, and he's lowering himself to that level.
Yeah, here comes Wennington now as Longley goes to the bench with 5 fouls. Bulls up by 16. Opening moments of the 3rd quarter from Paris, France.
Luke told me beforehand that he was just feeling great. His weight is down. He spent all summer on the beach there. And body surfing in Perth and running on the sand dunes.
Got hurt body surfing once, remember?
Yes, he did. Manhattan Beach in Los Angeles, which is a much different break of the wave than at Perth.
Is that where you body surf?
Manhattan, no, San Diego. The waves are much, much better in San Diego than in Manhattan.
Michael Hawkins blocked by Ron Harper. The height advantage, of course, just suffocating Michael Hawkins.
Oops.
Traveling.
Yeah, that time when Caffey got in there, he started to stumble, so he picked up a little bunny step, little bunny hop. Watch Harper come into your screen right there. 6'6", fully extended. That's why Harper can lay off of you. He has the quickness and the quick jumping ability and the long arms.
Well, Hubie, the Bulls went to the next level. I mean, obviously 5 championships in 7 years is unbelievable. But when they went to the big guards with Harper instead of P.J. Armstrong.
Hawkins with a wraparound pass inside. Johnny Rogers gets it to fall and draws the foul. There's Johnny Rogers from Cal Irvine, married to a Spanish native, making him part of the European community, meaning that when he changes teams, they don't have to give a big fee to the other team. It's called the Bosman rule.
Yeah, we're really all happy for Johnny. Bill knew him way back in the days of California. He attended Stanford, finished up at Cal Irvine, was drafted in the second round by Sacramento Kings, played for Sacramento, and a year with Cleveland, and has been over here for 10 years. Now, right now, Tarlich, that's right, Tarlich and Wennington are squaring off here right now.
You know, they may be competing for the same power forward job with the Chicago Bulls. Tarlich, a draft choice of the Bulls, and they own the NBA rights to him, so Wennington claiming his turf.
It's funny, Jerry Krause, who we spent some time with this morning, Bob, was talking about how Tarlich just sort of showed up at the Chicago free agent camp. Johnny Rogers just cannot find his way. But
Hawkins, that's a triple. That's big.
I'd like to see Hawkins and Rogers get unraveled here, mainly because an awful lot of their friends are watching this game today. Relatives, everyone back home, guys who know these people and are pulling hard for them to have a good night.
5 straight points for Olympiacos.
And they're very good players.
Yes.
Kukoc missing, Wennington working the boards.
But as we've seen so many times, Hubie, the Bulls so great at taking players out of their game and making weaker players beat you. Don't let a team go at its strength, and that's the beauty of Phil Jackson, the best coach in the NBA.
The Chicago Bulls had led here by 16 points. Olympiacos has cut the lead to 11 with a chance to cut it to 9. They've scored 5 consecutive points and have possession.
Tough to grind it out in a half-court game against this physical Bulls team, though.
Yeah, they just don't give you enough easy baskets.
Terrible.
That's the first appearance of the ball game, by the way, by Ephemios Bakatsias. He is in the Greek army and played quite a bit last night. Speaking of guys getting into tussles, he's pretty hot-headed. He had a few words with Reggie Miller.
Well, he's on an army pass right now. And he is a starting guard on the Greek national team for the last 5 years. So, this guy's a feisty operator.
I wonder if Reggie knew that he was dealing with a soldier when they had the little scuffle in Atlanta.
That just would have fired him up more.
Jordan, defended by the soldier.
And 3 others.
Kukoc, missing the 3. Michael Hawkins has Karnishimus in the corner. Kukoc just ran him down, no whistle.
Well, Tony, great defense that time, and then once again to slap it out of bounds. He never let Karnishimus get set. He just kept pushing at him and running, and Karnishimus had to force that shot up.
21 on the shot clock.
Tony over there to poke the ball away. Quick hand. Not a noted defender, Tony Kukoc, but
nice pass inside and a one-touch back out to Rogers, who can't get it to fall. A loose ball foul that's going to be on Tarlich. That'll be his 3rd.
Bob, speaking of Tony and the comments that Peter made at the halftime about the possible surgery there for Tony Kukoc on that foot. This team, the most publicized team in the history of sports, and the most discussed. I mean, every single rumor, every single little comment so analyzed. Impossible to figure out what is going to happen with Tony Kukoc's foot.
Wennington. hit the top of the basket, which stays in bounds. That's live.
Whittington looked right over here and give us a big smile on that one. You kidding?
Come on, he's got a tip dunk tonight. He's got a jumper that rolled off the top of the board.
8.7 boards. He says, so 5 on Longley, no problem.
Very difficult for him to sit out the playoffs last year because he's been a mainstream guy in that 8-9-man rotation for Chicago for years.
There's the jump hook from Tarlach.
Well, he's the perfect complementary backup center. Can come in and handle the ball, can shoot the perimeter jump shots, can play great position defense. And when you're going against the Akeems and the Shaqs and David Robinson, you need guys who can be an offensive factor.
They have to hit that 10 to 12 footer, though, right? They're facing the basket.
Jordan with the pump fake.
Yes.
And the basket, and Michael has 22. Remember, the scoring record by an NBA player in the McDonald's Championships is 34, set by Patrick Ewing. So everything going Bill Wennington's way. 8 rebounds, 7 points. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
Who is your favorite player?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, yes. And your favorite team is obviously?
Chicago Bulls.
Okay, so you speak pretty good English. Where you from?
New York.
From New York, huh? Yeah, okay. Well, there you have it. And your name is?
Joseph.
Joseph what?
Vesey.
Joseph Vesey. Joseph Vesey. I pick all the Parisian kids while I'm here. Just makes it a lot more fun. Back to you, Bob.
A proud papa, Peter, with his son as a ball boy. He's the only one last night who paid any attention to the opponents of the Bulls. All the French ball boys were taking care of the Bulls. They wouldn't even help the opponent, which was the Paris Saint-Germain home team.
Their own team. Peter has his whole family over here. His lovely and talented wife, Joan.
Kukoc following inside. Wennington coming away with his 8th rebound. Jordan. Vukcevic trying to cover, and there's the double team. Kukoc penetrating ball. Beautiful look-away fake. Missed the lay-in, however. Here is Michael Hawkins.
Hawkins, terrific left hand in the open court, but has not been getting to the foul line like he did last night on the break, QB.
Karnisovas, that's a 3. Karnisovas hit a 3 late in the ball game for Olympiacos last night against the South American champions. Kicked his leg out and drew the foul and made a 4-point play out of it, which really ensured the victory and gave Olympiacos the ticket to the championship game tonight. Bulls lead down to 9. Really stole it.
Vucevic has been playing good defense away from the ball on Jordan.
3-on-2. Offensive foul.
That was just excellent transition defense. They had a 3-on-2. They kept the ball in the outside lane rather than get the ball into the middle. Now this is Michael Hawkins at his best. Take it into the middle of the floor, kick it out to the corner. Karnisovas is an excellent 3-point shooter. Now this is just bad judgment. You had a 3-on-2, kept the ball in the outside lane. The defense cut down the angle on you. Michael takes the charge.
Michael learned that charge, of course, from Dean Smith.
Get it to the middle when there's 2 defenders back. When there's 1, oh, Jordan just over the top.
Wennington tried to follow for another follow jam.
Hey, come on. He's on the Canadian national team, Bob. Come on. He's played this type of basketball for years.
He's in the zone tonight.
Bill's motto, there is no gravity. Air Wennington. 9 on the shot clock for Olympiacos. 5:10 in the 3rd period. Olympiacos has narrowed the Bulls' 16-point lead down to 9 now. 2-1.
You got to shoot it.
That did not beat the buzzer. You don't hear, they have a kind of a weak buzzer. I don't want to criticize Bercy. It's a beautiful place. The buzzer's a little bit weak, though. It sounded, you can't hear it, but the officials did.
Well, they need to work on a few things. Fortunately, one thing that they've really worked on is the buzzer up top goes right off, is improving the size of the beds and the showers over here in the fabulous hotel we're staying in.
Jordan taking it inside. Battling back in, and the foul for Michael Jordan. Michael now has 24 with an opportunity for 25.
Well, there should be frustration, Bob. You had 4 red shirts inside, and Jordan not only shoots it, he gets the rebound and puts the ball back up in the basket. And the frustrating thing is, if you're coaching Olympiacos right now, you were just down 9. You had a 3-on-2, a chance to get it to 7. You get the violation. You come down at this end of the floor, and you give Michael Jordan 2 shots and a foul shot.
They had the same chance late in the 2nd period. Not taking their time on a break and didn't take advantage of it. Jordan 25.
Michael, with all the flashbulbs going on, talking about this morning at practice, whenever he goes anywhere, the paparazzi here, the guys on the motorcycle with the photographer right next to him, just chasing him down.
Yeah, Ahmad, we'll have to go to Ahmad in a minute to talk about that. Ahmad thinks that maybe some of the attention to Michael is drawn, maybe not all, by Michael.
Yeah, that's right, Bob. My driver actually said he drove the president a couple of months ago when he was here, and Michael has more security around him than the president has. So any place you go, the people pull up in the vans and jump out and make everybody stop so he can get out and walk around, which causes a little bit of attention. I actually thought that the security was for me, but obviously it's for Michael.
Well, that's all right. I thought the security in our hotel was for me, and it was for the Turkish Prime Minister. Michael Jordan answers.
He lost the ball and still got it back. The concentration, the focus, the discipline.
Give Tony Kukoc a major assist on that. He threaded the needle with that one. Put it right on the money to Michael.
Michael has 27. Remember, the NBA scoring record is held by Patrick Ewing at 34. Michael has 27 now.
Nice closeout by Bill Wennington that time to force the missed shot.
When the Bulls get into the regular season, someone's got to pick up that 7-8 rebounds a game that Scottie Pippen gets, and it's going to be interesting to see where it comes from at NBA time.
Kukoc threw that ball away for the Bulls. Turnover, 3:26 to go in the third period, and
but a moment ago, Bob, he had a beautiful high post pass. When you get a guy who's 6'10" like Tony Kukoc and pass from the high post and stroke that jumper, that creates all kinds of offensive opportunities.
And a timeout on the floor with the Bulls leading it by 12. The officials say, no, we're not letting you have the timeout. They'll have to chase the ball boys who have become the broom boys off to the baseline, and we're back in here. They're going to trigger play with 3:26 to go in the third period, and the Bulls up by 12. There's Dick Bavetta, red-faced, with a little bit of a smile after that.
Phil Jackson's got the smile. Oh, Michael Hawkins still can't finish. But Phil's been having a great time here in Paris, where he spent a lot of time before. His wife June is with him, as many of the Bulls' wives are.
Jordan inside. Baseline. That's the Russian Greek, Amanatidis, the 7-footer. He's only 18 years old, number 13, who got the rebound.
Amanatidis played a much better game last night than he's having tonight.
Nakic. Fouls on Bushler.
This second unit that's out on the floor right now did an excellent job in the first half for Olympiacos.
3 to go in the third quarter. They inbound under their own basket. This is Tomic. Nakic. Naturalized Greek citizens, by the way, from the Balkan countries. Karlach, likewise. Scotty Burrell with the rebound, and here's Steve Kerr.
Now this lineup for Chicago has got to find some offensive creativity here. Burrell's the guy who should be handling it most of the time, try to spot up Kerr and Bushler.
Shot clock to 7. And 5. Burrell, 3, double team.
Great pass.
Just in time to stop the shot clock, and then the follow by Judd Bushler.
That was no response. Wait a second. No, I'm just sitting here because you're on the volleyball circuit on television, and you know Judd Bushler is an outstanding volleyball player, okay? And that's what that looked like.
Curling into the paint. That's a tough shot by Nakic. Kerr from Bushler. Both from Arizona. Brown, New Mexico State, kind of a southwestern flavor at the moment. Well, New Mexico, Longley.
The job that Lute Olson does for Arizona Wildcats, fantastic.
They settle the shot clock. Tipped away.
Oh, here you go. 3-on-2 again. They'll go for the 3.
Oh, Vukcevic with the penetration and a bad pass to Nakic. A foul on the Bulls.
Whenever you play European teams, you always know that when they're out there on the break, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, someone's running for a 3. Now, here you go. Now, watch this as it's coming over the top. Judd just puts that one right back up again. What would you call that, putting it back over the net soft? No term?
Well, maybe the gator, maybe the dink. We'll go with the dink there.
Drop shot. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
Ahmad Rashad back here in Paris at Bercy where the Bulls lead Olympiacos by 14. Tonight on NBC is more of our must-see weekend with Game 1 of the World Series at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific as Dave Justice and the American League champion Cleveland Indians battle Bobby Bonilla and the National League champion Florida Marlins. That's Game 1 of the World Series tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific on NBC. And just to practice some of my French, Bob, à vous, Bob.
À vous, to you, Ahmad. By the way, Bobby Bonilla is said, or they say that he will play tonight. You know, he had a sore hamstring for the Marlins, but he is saying he will play in Game 1. Burrell from Longley.
A four-man play. Start the ball on one side, swing it across to the guard, dump it into the center for the backdoor. Beautiful combination basketball.
That's their third backdoor layup off of that pass. That's more baskets than they get in 2 months in the NBA because everyone knows that guy's cutting on that baseline.
Under a minute in the period, Tarloch with the 15-foot mid-range jumper, 72-60. Bulls by 12. They've maintained this 8 to 12 to 14-point lead most of this game.
I'm surprised that these teams over here have stayed with the man-to-man defense. But you're allowed to play zone. The Bulls not shooting so well. Michael saying last night he was shocked that Paris went out of that zone. That zone was giving the Bulls all kinds of fits early on.
Shot clock to 2. Buechler has to throw up the prayer and hits the 3. Josh Buechler with time running out on the shot clock. 22 seconds remaining in the period. It's a 15-point Bulls lead.
Buechler hit that huge three-point shot in the closing moments of one of the Bulls' home victories against the Utah Jazz in this past spring's finals.
Chicago's only hit 2 threes. They're 2 of 10 from beyond the arc. Tomic will try a 3. Longley. Time expires. After 3 periods, Bulls by 15. Michael Jordan got some rest. He'll be back. 27 minutes, 27 points. So what is new? Eric Jackson. Congratulations to Cheryl Swoops of the Houston Comets, WNBA.
Terrific season for the WNBA, and a lot of the women are over here being part of the promotion of international basketball. 35%, Bob, of the NBA's internet contracts are international. 35% and 15% of the marketing is international as well. So NBA is huge all over the world.
11:36 to go in this ball game with the Bulls up by 15. Tarloch can't finish. Rogers with the offensive board. Karnishevas with a new shot clock. And he draws the foul.
It's really been a parade to the foul line here in the second half. Slowed the game down considerably from the great excitement.
Olympiacos field goal percentage only 35. The Chicago centers. This is Longley, who's got 5 fouls, and Winnington 15 points, 16 rebounds. Center by committee. They've been doing it that way for quite a while in Chicago. And Tarloch tonight with 14, 11 boards, make it 15.
Well, they solved, Hubie, their rebound problem from last night. They got killed on the boards. They gave up 20 rebounds to Strulins, and tonight they've just been everywhere and been able to control Tarloch pretty much. And no second shot opportunities for Olympiacos tonight.
Well, I like the stat because Longley and Winnington very quietly are going about their business and doing an excellent job. You combine them together, anytime you say 15 points and 16 rebounds at that center position, you got to be happy.
Bulls by 13. Burrell in the paint with nowhere to go. Shot clock at 5. Brown over Hawkins. Big bucket by Randy Brown. Brown looks big by Hawkins standards.
Well, this unit for Chicago is going to have to find some sort of offensive continuity because they're going to get a lot of playing time together. I think Phil Jackson likes what he saw with Kukoc in that starting lineup tonight.
Well, you look at the second unit. We remember that Rodman is going to be on the first unit. Cappy would be out on the floor with the screw.
Karnishevas took the flop, trying to get the 4 look up, missed the 3, ahead Burrell, and that's because Karnishevas went down on the floor after the shot. His man leaked out for the easy lay-in.
Defense forces the tough shot, the quick rebound, the short outlet, look ahead, the guys releasing from the weak side. Beautiful basketball.
Chicago's biggest lead. Karnishevas. This is the 3 again. Burrell
Off to the races.
3-on-1. I like this group, the spirit that they have. They get the ball out quickly. They push it up the floor. In the first half, they came in. They did a nice job, contributed 16 points in a short period of time while they were shooting 7 for 13.
And this group, Hubie, focuses tremendously on the defensive end.
7 on the shot clock for Hawkins.
Nice step out by Longley.
Yeah, they took away that pick and roll. Air ball.
Well, Tomic and Karnisovas are their two main three-point shooters in their starting rotation, and they're just having horrible games.
Yeah, Tomic does not have one single point. Steve Kerr with that basket. Timeout as the Bulls have their biggest lead. It is now by 22 points.
This is a nice kick out and look long. Always look up. Scotty, send it down.
Where Chicago leads Olympiacos by 22 points. Must-see weekend continues tomorrow with an NFL doubleheader beginning at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Greg Gumbel minus me and company visit with two of the league's premier stars, Deion Sanders and John Elway, plus a full examination of perhaps the most intriguing current pro football rivalry, the Patriots versus the Jets. And just like to say this to Greg. Greg, Boomer Monkey Beaucoup, which means I miss you much. Bob?
You said you were studying French all week. I believe you, Ahmad. Bulls have 34 points off their bench here tonight.
And they put Michael Jordan back in the lineup, even though 22-point lead. Maybe David Stern rang up Phil Jackson on the phone and said, hey, look, these people, they came to see Michael for the one time in his career.
Michael Jordan with a bounce pass and not a very good one. And the ball is picked off by Vukcevic, who takes it all the way and then dishes. And the basket by Nakic. Michael Jordan, we bring you back up to date with our little soap opera on the scoring. The NBA player who scored the most points in a McDonald's championship play is Patrick Ewing with 34. Michael has 27 right now.
Now this Bulls team, they've got to start thinking about helping Michael get his game off to make the show complete.
Ahmad, does Michael know that 34 is the record?
No, he doesn't know that 34 is the record, but just during that last time out, Phil Jackson walked over to him and asked him if he wanted to go back in, and he said certainly.
There you go, Patrick Ewing versus Pissarro Scalabrini in 1990. Larry Bird, look at the names on there.
Danny Shays, come on, he belongs right in that group.
Michael Jordan had 28 last night. Ewing's was in overtime. That was really the closest NBA near loss here because obviously it was tied and it required a Gerald Wilkins three-pointer at the buzzer to send that game into overtime versus Scalabrini-Pissarro.
Well, you think about last night when they won by 7 points. That's the fourth lowest amount of points that we Lakers by 2, the Knicks by 4, Denver by 6, and last night not only the 7 is what, but the 89 points is the lowest amount of points that NBA team ever scored in the McDonald's Open.
Yeah, the next lowest was 111 by Boston. 4 on the shot clock. Hawkins lost the dribble. 1. It counts. That's a 2. Nakic knocks it down, and Nakic has 13. Leading scorer is Karnisovas for Olympiacos. He has 19.
Chicago has completely shut down Michael Hawkins.
Yeah, well, you know, Bill, he had a very difficult first half shooting 3 for 11, but what's happening is they're pounding on him physically every time he comes down into the lane.
Longley grabs the rebound away from Karlic and muscles it back inside. Luke. You hear it. It's for Paris, and they've already picked up on Luke. They're not booing him. They're saying Luke.
9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists for the big redhead.
And 5 fouls. I mean, he's filling up the whole cup.
Well, he just got his 6th right there. As we were blowing a little smoke on Luke, okay? You know, Karlic is saying about time. He was, you know, horsing me out of that low post area.
Well, Tarlock is just one of the 2 guys as Joe Klein comes in for the first time. Joe did not play last night.
The 35-year-old Joe Klein, who signed with the Bulls this summer as a free agent. Bill Cartwright is on the Bulls bench coaching, and Klein kind of becomes the Cartwright factor.
Well, it's as if Jerry Krause has this thing for 7-foot centers who don't have championships, and he sort of goes around at the end of their careers and says, let's get him one, too.
Hawkins finally
Yeah, but
gets
he's
one to
good
drop.
insurance. Good insurance.
Oh,
as
terrific
we know.
pickup.
Joe can board, play a little defense for you. He's great in the locker room. Excellent guy. Terrific personality.
And shoot the jumper like Bill Wennington, too.
No, you can play with Joe with confidence. He really knows how to play.
Nakic knocks Joe Klein down. And it's 88-68. Bulls continue to lead by 20. 6:58 to go in this 1997 McDonald's Championship from Bercy in Paris. Air ball.
Look, they took Michael Jordan out.
Yeah. Brown's in. Morell's in. Rebound. Monakidis.
Well, I think when Phil Jackson saw Joe Klein limping back to the sideline, he said, I'm not taking any chances here.
Good point. How many operations did you have in your career?
I had about 30, Bob. It was a tough way to go.
30. Jordan with 27 on the bench now. Kerr with 10. Nobody else in double figures for the Bulls. Karnisovas with 19 points and good balance, but not enough of it for Olympiacos. And there, we said this earlier. Olympiacos, as Michael sits down, is without one of their stars, maybe their best player, Panayotis Fasoulas, who has ankle surgery. He's due back with this team in mid-November. You may remember him in the States. Played with North Carolina State and was a second-round pick of Portland back, a decade ago.
Well, he's a shot blocker, rebounder. He's been on the national team for over 10 seasons. You know, he's that guy, the eraser in the back for you that's going to block shots, and he gets 12 or 13 points. So you can see, you add him to this team, it's a good, competitive front line for European basketball.
Randy Brown inside to the cutting Kukoc, who draws the foul. Tony did not score a single point last night. He started tonight and has only 4 points in this game. Phil Jackson said it, Michael Jordan said it, and Tony's the only one who didn't say it, and that is that he's out of shape.
Well, he didn't play at all this summer. He had to rest that foot, and Tony's never been big on the weight training or the swimming or the stationary bike.
The 1997-98 season marks NBA.com's third year as the official website of the NBA. New features include live in-game box scores, same-night video highlights, and audio broadcast of every NBA game. All this only at your ultimate online resource, NBA.com. I dialed them up from my hotel room on my laptop last night. Kerr, Brown.
And I guess that counts as an international hit on the NBA line.
And a big-time phone call.
Oh, there it is again.
Kerr to Brown again.
Shoot a three.
Back to Kerr. Brown. Over Tomic.
This is getting ugly here for Olympiacos.
And what I like, if I'm a Chicago fan, is the fact that the second unit is doing an excellent job. Randy Brown played well last night. Tonight, he is 6 for 8, causing turnovers, and more important, getting the ball out on the break in the transition and finding the right people.
And it looks like we're going to have a quarterback in the game in a moment. That steal by Randy Brown. Looking for help. Kukoc on the follow. Kukoc with some mustard, some Dijon, and he missed it. I said a quarterback about to come into the ballgame. You'll see what I mean momentarily when there's a dead ball, if there will be a dead ball.
Well, the game is getting ugly, and it's got to get some sort of structure back. Right now, it's just a fast break drill for Chicago.
It's 98-63. Morell, he's fouled.
Well, you think about this a second. This is second unit. Now, I hope that the Chicago Bulls second unit is a little bit better than the second unit of Olympiacos.
And now it's the Chicago Bulls third unit. The third unit is led off the bench by Rusty LaRue, the former quarterback and basketball player at Wake Forest. And another ACC player, Dante Calabrio, comes on to the floor. Maurice Gorent, who is a French player and on the Bulls training camp roster, is also going to come in momentarily.
And 25 years from now, it'll all be Michael Jordan and I were over in Paris, busting everybody.
Exactly. And also Keith Booth is in the ballgame. Booth had his jersey retired, as a matter of fact, at Maryland. Another ACC player.
Now, it's difficult for these players to make this team because if you look at the Bulls roster with Judd Buechler on there, Scottie Pippen coming back, you have 13 guys with no-cut contracts. Now, you'd like to say, well, everyone loves these 4 kids right here. They say they've got a lot of talent. They'd be kids that they would bring to the team in case of an injury. But you and I both know it's so difficult to make the Bulls.
But Booth has a 3-year no-cut contract as a signee, as a first-round draft choice. All first-round draft choices get those 3-year contracts. Now, they can cut him, but they still have to pay him.
That's correct. And are you trying to tell me now that we are going to see a convenient injury the day before cut down, or what? Is that what we're looking at here?
I'm looking at Joe Klein.
Yeah.
3:59
to go in the knee injury right there.
Oh, no. We don't want to say that about Joe. No big guy wants to get clunked on the inside of the knee.
Goretz with the lay-in attempt. He will get in the box score, however, as you go to the free throw line and drew the foul with 3:53, as I said, to go in the game. And the Bulls leading it by 23, 93-70. I have a feeling we have seen the last of Michael in Paris.
Well, they're not going to put it back in. The Bulls will go out and have a great time tonight. The plane leaves midday tomorrow. Their big 747 charter jet. Michael's already got the ice on. I like Keith Booth, though. I've seen him since he was a high school player in the Washington, D.C. area. He and a bunch of his buddies came out in gym shorts and no shirts in the Las Vegas high school tournament, and they busted Jason Kidd's high school team, which had glorious uniforms and sweatsuits and coaches and ties and everything. These 6 kids from Washington, D.C. just came out and ran this California team, led by Jason Kidd, off the court. It was a thing of beauty.
Well, he showed during his career at Maryland a great heart. He's a terrific player from 17 feet down. If he can just work on his game, like right here, we just have a beautiful finish inside of 15 feet. But when you look at Booth's game, if he can just extend to that 21 to 22 feet so that they would have to play him on the perimeter, the young man has a future because he is an outstanding athlete.
He'd be one of the biggest needs for the international teams as they try to catch up to the NBA in a general level.
Yeah, I don't care which country you go into, Bill. It's the defense. They just don't put the time into the defense or the physical effort. So when they do play against teams that have any kind of quickness and shot blocking, and then they play them physical, they get overpowered. And we've seen it here tonight. You say, well, they're playing hard. Yes, they are. They're doing an excellent job, but they're getting out quick. And then the intimidation. All 5 of the Chicago guys can get faked out, recover, and still intimidate. That's what's missing from the game.
How many more years is it going to take?
Well, I just think it comes with the athletes, and then also the coaching has got to step up to spend more time with the defense.
Klein commits the foul on the drive by Karopoulos, and we have 3 minutes to go in the game with the Bulls up 22 points and both coaches clearing their benches. Well, the past champions of McDonald's, this tournament began in 1987. It was an invitational tournament called the McDonald's Open. Milwaukee, Madrid, Rome, Barcelona, Paris, Munich, London, some great spots. NBA has never lost a game, and it's not going to happen here in Paris. Hey, how about the bottle of wine? You can't read it from this view, but it says Chateau Jourdain. They did some real estate work here with the baguettes. We're selling out crowd, 13,500, by the way, at Bercy.
Can I borrow your glasses, Bob? Those are awesome glasses.
Well, you've got to have good vision, as you know. It goes with the game. The free throw is good. 3 minutes to go. Bulls by 20 points. Youngsters who are getting a chance to play in Bulls uniforms. They won't be able to play in them in a couple more weeks when the Bulls get ready for the regular season. And the ball is ripped loose by Nakic. And the foul by Goretz.
Well, plus you're getting to see a lot of the juniors who ride the bench for the European teams. And one of the difficulties that they have in developing their players is that the prime of their young careers, 18, 19, 20 years old, all they do is sit the bench because there is no college opportunities here in Europe.
Well, you look at this team right here, Olympiacos. They have one player at 16 years, one at 19, one at 18, and then one at 20. And only one of them is getting any action at all.
Full court pressure from Olympiacos, knocks it out of bounds. And it'll be Olympiacos ball with 2:44 to go. And it's a 19-point lead.
QB, those are the years that you've got to have the ball in your hand. You've got to have the game experience. Sitting on the bench when you're 16 and 17, that's a waste.
Well, you know, what the answer to that is the worldwide tournaments in the summer for the junior teams of 22 and under. And that's where they say they make it up. They practice with the pro team all year. They get in, you know, sparingly. But the key is in the summer times, they get their games. But I'm like you know, it's the old story of how much success can you have and how many games can you play in the summertime.
Monetitas reached over the back of Joe Klein, who is nearly twice as old. He'll love this story, but we maybe should talk with him about this. Monetitas is 18 years old. Joe Klein soon to be 36. If he comes over, we'll tell him.
Joe's over here saying, they're fouling me, they're fouling me.
It's a kid, Joe. It's a kid. How can he hurt you? He's just a kid.
Speaking of the junior team, how about the job that Argentina did? Remember, they took 4th in the Junior World Championships, the last one. They come in here. South America had never won a game in the McDonald's competition, and the Argentinian team from Cordoba takes 3rd place with 2 big victories. And after the tough loss last night to Olympiacos at the buzzer on a questionable call.
Yeah, it was 9.6 seconds left. 3-point shot by Karnišovas. He kicked his leg out, and they called the foul. And he got a 4-point play, which really ensured the victory. And Dick Vetta stepping in very quickly here, so none of the tempers get out of hands. 2:08 to go in this ball game.
See, Zerbenko just came in the game at 6'10". This is his first action in the tournament. He's only 22 years of age. He's his 3rd year with the team. He was born in Russia and has moved over here to Greece to play and participate with this ball club.
Yeah, now he's playing. Joe Klein. Lawrence, nice shot.
Oh, they like him, right? They really like his talent.
Well, they're not going to bring in any guys who are just going to waste time. These guys can all play, but as you said, there are just no roster spots. Maybe they can land with a team in Europe.
Well, we all know the majority of NBA teams are hiding 2 guys. You know, they either have 13 or 14 guys on. It just comes down to whether or not they want to pay the salary.
Nicholas with the jumper.
Because that lower back injury is one of the biggest things we have in the NBA today.
Next basket by Chicago will put them in the triple digits. Only scored 89 last night, did the Bulls. That's the lowest amount of points scored ever by an NBA team in the McDonald Championship.
You know, you look at Ivkovic over there, the coach of this team, and you say, you know, has the guy ever really coached any players? Being the Yugoslavian coach for 8 years, the national team, he's only coached Petrovic, Divac, Brankovic, Paspai, Kukoc, Raja, Danilovic, all of which who have played in the NBA.
And he was a terrific player himself.
That's right.
But
See the Nets number 3? That's the number worn by Dragan Petrovic when he played for the New Jersey Nets, the late Dragan Petrovic, who died in 1993 in a car accident, and for whom the trophy for the most valuable player in the McDonald's Championship is named.
And the sad thing about all that is, naturally, he was a household name throughout all of Europe, where he played for the Yugoslavia team and then also ended his career over here with Real Madrid. Then he went to Portland, played there for 3 years as a backup. But when he went to New Jersey, he blossomed, and he made the 3rd-team All-NBA team when he finished that year with the Nets, and then unfortunately was killed in an automobile accident in Germany over the summer. Just a great talent.
that would have to be the highest level an international player ever achieved, a 3rd-team All-NBA team, wouldn't you say he'd be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Bob, when you think about it, Bill, it's just incredible what he did, because you know at Portland it was so difficult for him to get playing time
Behind Drexler and Porter.
Oh, come on, that was a tough club.
Less than a minute to go in this ball game with the Bulls up 101-78. It's been Chicago literally all the way. They held a 8 to 12 point lead for most of the game. Michael Jordan has knocked down 27 points in 29 minutes. Michael shot 50% from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and spent the most of this quarter on the bench. And Michael and the Bulls will stay here tonight, then take their 7:47 charter back to Chicago. And the rumor is that Dennis Rodman will be hanging around the Windy City on Monday.
Well, that'll be good. And the more they can keep Michael Jordan on the bench during the course of the season, Booth, unable to handle the ball. But the more they're able to rest Michael Jordan and let other guys come in and play terrific basketball, that will serve the Bulls over the course of this season, and I think for years to come.
Calabria steps into the passing lane, leads Goritz.
Okay, this guy's some magic. And a good rundown. That's all right. He went for the block.
Pettis is only 16 years old.
That's right.
The man who tried to block that shot, excuse me, that's not Pettis, that's Nikos Mikolos. They changed numbers just before the game. It is Nikos Mikolos who made the block.
He's going for a slam dunk exhibition here, and that's a good defensive play by Pettis. The guy's a little showboat there.
Yeah, no, everyone is booing except for one thing. He almost blocked the shot. I mean, he got his hand on the ball. He just caught him with his upper body.
If he had gone straight in and dunked it, the defense would have had no chance. But when he tried to go the reverse and slowed it down a little bit, ouch.
6 seconds. LaRue looking for points. Gives it up. Talk about unselfish. Goritz draws the foul with 1.5 seconds left. And Michael says, hey, is there golf? Is there an inside? Oh, I've got to mention this, by the way, speaking of golf and Michael Jordan. This building we're in, the sports palace called Bercy, is in a park in Paris called Bercy Park. And the zoning rules of the city of Paris is you can't build a building in this area and take away the greenery with concrete. So the architects planted grass on the walls of the building. This building is covered in grass on the walls. Amazing.
It's a beautiful building indeed, and it has housed a fantastic tournament.
The upside of this building is since '91, when McDonald's was here the last time, are the lights that you can now see in this building.
And that's the final score. You see the photographers and Ahmad Rashad surrounding Michael Jordan. Bulls win at 104-78. Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Michael, you've won 5 NBA championships, but this one is a very important championship, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people felt that if we didn't come here and win the McDonald's Open, then our championship would be tarnished. I didn't take it in that effect, but, you know, we quiet all the critics and basically came out and, you know, even though we were not at full strength, we won the tournament, and, you know, I'm very happy to get off the year on a good foot.
Everybody came out to see you at 27 points in 29 minutes. They got a view of Jordan, didn't they?
I hope so. You know, I just do my job whenever I'm on the basketball court, and, you know, I don't know if I please him, but I did my job.
All right, congratulations to you, Michael.
Thanks.
All right, Bob.
Thanks, Armand. Been an enjoyment working with you today. Michael Jordan, just another regular guy. Bulls win it 104-78. For Hubie Brown, Bill Walton, Ahmad Rashad, and Peter Vesey, this is Bob Neal saying so long from Paris. This has been a presentation of the NBA